After countless hardships, Ly Tu Tien could finally feel her life at the farm shifting towards something more hopeful. Each morning she no longer woke up weighed down by worry and exhaustion. Instead, she greeted the day with a quiet joy and deep gratitude. Watching the lush vegetable garden sway gently in the breeze, the cooing doves flutter about, the chickens scratching the earth freely, and the puppies growing stronger in their straw-lined nest. Tu Tien had poured her heart into the garden. Cabbage, kohlrabi, eggplant and mustard greens were planted in alternating rows, carefully spaced and fenced to prevent chickens or wild animals from trampling them. She rose early, patiently watering each plant, plucking the weeds by hand, admiring the way the leaves reached for the sun. Now and then she paused to breathe in the earthy scent and gaze at the dewdrops glistening on the leaves. Simple, fleeting things that filled her with peace. After her morning work in the garden, she checked the hen house. That day she gathered around 10 fresh eggs, sorted them neatly into bags of 10, and planned to sell them at the market for 20,000 dong per bag. It wasn't a lot of money, but it made her excited, because it was entirely earned by her own hands. Next to the chicken coop, she cared for the doves, kept safe in the shelter Jack had helped rebuild after the storm. She didn't want them flying off freely, afraid hawks might strike, so she kept their coop clean, fed them on schedule, and watched over them with care. Nearby, a litter of puppies, just a few weeks old, lay curled up in soft straw. Their tails wagged gently at the smell of the hot porridge she had cooked. Crouching beside them, Tu Tien lovingly stroked their tiny heads, feeling a quiet warmth rise in her chest. The work of tending animals and growing food was demanding, but she never felt tired. She knew this farm was slowly blooming into something sustainable, something she could call her own. After finishing her chores, Tu Tien set aside her tools and walked over to the patch of open ground next to the coop. She started mentally calculating the materials she'd need to expand the chicken area. Her plan was to buy some roofing sheets and timber to build a new section where she could raise chicks and increase her egg supply for the market. The idea energized her, filling her with renewed motivation to work even harder. It was a beautiful day, and as she stood in the middle of her modest farm, surrounded by life she had nurtured with her own hands, Tu Tien felt something rare and full: happiness. The kind that comes not from comfort or luxury, but from living purposefully and giving everything she had to a land she now quietly called home. Early that morning, Jack's mother and Mia set out for the local market to pick up a few things for Tu Tien. After browsing through stalls packed with clothes in all kinds of styles and colors, they stopped at a discounted clothing booth. Mia thoughtfully picked out a few soft, breathable tops with simple cuts, perfect for Tu Tien to wear around the farm. Jack's mother nodded approvingly. "She'll probably like these. The fabric is light and airy, good for the farm weather." Smiling, she paid for the clothes, gathered the bags and messaged Jack to come pick them up. He soon arrived in his white car, parked right outside the store, and helped load everything into the trunk. On the way home, Jack's mother turned to him and said, "Drive us to the hardware store. I want to get something for Tu Tien." Curious, Jack asked, "What else are you planning to buy?" She replied, "You said Tu Tien wants to fence off her vegetable garden, right? I'd like to pitch in today." So the three of them stopped at a construction supply shop. Rolls of wire mesh, coils of steel wire and corrugated sheets were stacked everywhere. Jack walked around and picked out 2 high-quality rolls of mesh, each weighing over 50 kilograms. With everything packed, they drove toward the farm. As they approached through a tunnel of lush green trees, Jack's mother squinted out the window, visibly delighted by the fresh, clean air. Hearing the sound of the car, Tu Tien stepped outside to greet them. Before she could say a word, Jack's mother held out a bag of clothes. "Here, Mia and I picked out a few tops. Try them on and see if they fit. They're light and comfy. You can wear them while gardening." Tien blinked in surprise, then bowed her head slightly as she took the bag. "Thank you. I don't know what to say. I'm afraid I'm troubling you all." Jack's mother waved her hand. "Not at all. We see you as part of the family now. Helping each other is what family does." Standing nearby, Jack gestured toward the 2 large rolls of mesh under the porch. "I bought these for your garden. No more chopping bamboo. What do you think?" Tu Tien gently touched one of the rolls, her fingers lingering on the cool metal. Looking up at him with emotion in her eyes, she said, "Thank you. Everyone's doing so much for me. I'll try my best not to let you down." Seeing her shy but sincere expression, both Jack's mother and Mia smiled warmly. Together they stepped into the house to prepare some hot tea, ready to sit down and chat. A quiet but genuine sense of closeness filled the air, wrapping around them like the warmth of a shared home. A wave of powerful emotion surged within Tu Tien. She had never imagined she would receive such genuine care and support. Just a few weeks ago, she had hesitated at Jack's suggestion to work at the construction site, wanting instead to stay quietly at the farm. But now, with Jack, his mother and Mia visiting frequently, bringing clothes, fencing supplies and other essentials, she found herself overwhelmed by a mix of gratitude and quiet happiness. She recalled that morning when Jack's mother gently handed her the new clothes and a large roll of mesh fencing, saying, "I see you as part of our family. Don't feel shy." That simple sentence had wrapped around her heart like a warm flame, melting away years of insecurity and self-doubt. Later, Maya suggested they take a few photos under the shade of the large mango tree. Jack stood beside his mother, gently wrapping his arm around her shoulder, while Maya adjusted the camera angle. Tu Tien looked at their reflections on the phone screen, and her eyes welled up. For the first time since leaving her old life, she felt the closeness of a true family. Jack's mother smiled kindly. "All right, everyone, big smiles. Let's capture this rare moment." Tu Tien managed a soft smile, doing her best to hold back the flood of emotions rising inside her. Once the photos were taken, Mia excitedly showed off the best shot on her phone. "You look so bright and lovely in this one, Tu Tien. It's such a beautiful memory." Tu Tien took the phone to have a look. The more she stared at the photo, the lighter her heart became. She smiled gently, deeply thankful for the people who now stood beside her. "Without them, I'd probably still be struggling alone," she thought. Jack, standing nearby, spoke softly. "I'm still waiting for you at the site, but it's your choice. When you're ready, I'll teach you everything." Tu Tien nodded, expressing her gratitude, but gently explained that for now, she wanted to focus on building up the farm. Everyone respected her decision, not pressuring her in any way. Before they left, Jack's mother reminded her to take care of her health and not to overwork herself. Tu Tien bowed her head, her voice catching slightly. "I honestly don't know how to repay you all, except by doing my best to make this farm thrive, to live up to the trust you've placed in me." As they climbed into the car, Mia waved cheerfully from the window. "Next time, come visit us. And don't spend all your time buried in farm work." Tu Tien laughed through misty eyes, feeling a rare peace settle deep in her soul. On a crisp and fresh morning, Tu Tien hurriedly dug small holes along the edge of her newly leveled vegetable plot, aiming to expand her cultivation area. Thanks to a bundle of bamboo she had chopped the day before and the roll of mesh fencing Jack had bought for her, she skillfully constructed a tall fence, weaving bamboo and mesh together to keep livestock out while allowing airflow. Though the work was strenuous, each shovelful of soil and every tightly fastened bamboo post filled her with pride and hope. By midday, just as she was securing the last bamboo poles, Jack arrived unexpectedly, carrying a bag of pull ties and several coils of wire. "I just got back from the site," he said. "Figured I'd better come by so you don't fall behind." Tu Tien looked up, smiled gratefully. "Thank you. With you helping, everything feels a lot easier." Without hesitation, Jack rolled up his sleeves and got to work beside her, reinforcing the connections between the bamboo and mesh to make the fence sturdier. Every so often he teased, "You're so skinny, aren't you worried about hurting your hands with that hammer?" Tu Tien responded with a calm smile. "I've gotten used to farm work. It doesn't scare me anymore." After finishing the fencing, Tu Tien took a break, sitting down on the smooth dirt, breathing in the fresh mountain air. Jack handed her a cool bottle of water. "Here, take a drink. I've been thinking, maybe you should raise a few pigs. I can help with the cost of the piglets." Tu Tien looked at him in surprise. "Why do you keep wanting to help me like this? I only have a little savings. I haven't even thought about raising pigs yet." Jack waved off her concern. "Just get the piglets first. Over time you'll earn back the investment. I'm all in if you are." But Tu Tien gently shook her head. "I want to earn it myself. When I'm ready, I'll buy them on my own. I prefer being independent. Don't worry." Jack respected her decision, knowing full well that Tu Tien had always strived to rise through her own efforts. He quietly added, "I've asked around about a few job openings. If you ever want to work outside the farm for extra income, I'd be happy to make some introductions." Tu Tien smiled in appreciation. "Thank you. When I'm ready, I'll think about it. In the fresh afternoon air, after a long stretch of work, they tidied up the tools and stepped into the house together. Sunlight streamed through the windows, filling the room with warmth and casting a golden glow that mirrored the growing hope for Tu Tien's farm and the life she was steadily building with her own two hands. On a crisp and clear morning, Jack called his assistant Tuan and drove to the construction site for a routine cleanup, where Tu Tien had recently started taking on light tasks. She began sweeping, organizing materials and cleaning the workspace when suddenly a familiar figure appeared, an older woman, seemingly her mother, who had come to ask for money. "Give me some money," the woman snapped. "I know you don't have much, but I need it." Her sharp tone cut through the air, creating a tense and uncomfortable silence. Tu Tien stood frozen, overwhelmed by anxiety and pressure as emotions surged within her. Sensing the tension immediately, Jack stepped in without hesitation, shielding her with a calm but firm voice. "Don't worry, I'll handle everything," he assured her. He decided it was best to take her away from the stressful environment, knowing she didn't need to endure this kind of confrontation. As they prepared to leave, still reeling from the encounter, another woman, possibly Miss Huang, appeared with a warning laced in subtle threat. "If you keep staying close to him, something bad might happen. He doesn't realize it, but you should." Tu Tien's heart raced, her hands trembled, but Jack remained composed. "I'll take you home safely," he said softly, helping her gather her belongings. Once inside the car, he reassured her again. "I'll deal with this later. Just focus on yourself right now." Not long after they returned to the farm, word of the incident began to spread. Miss Huang, unhappy with the growing closeness between Jack and Tu Tien, decided to escalate things. She hired Hoai to keep tabs on them, offering extra money in exchange for quick updates. Though busy, Hoai agreed to look into the matter within a day or two. Meanwhile, Tu Tien sat quietly in the passenger seat, watching Jack through the side mirror. His unwavering presence, calm strength and protective demeanor brought a strange mix of comfort and emotional turbulence to her heart. "I'm truly grateful," she thought silently. "Thank you for not letting me bear this pressure alone." Her eyes softened as she looked at him, overwhelmed by gratitude yet still uncertain of the road ahead. Jack remained quiet, his eyes focused, his expression full of resolve. In that moment, his silence spoke louder than any words. A silent promise that no matter what challenges arose, he would stand by her side. And even though the road ahead remained bumpy, Tu Tien realized she no longer had to face the storm alone.
Có cháu đích tôn chứ không phải cần một người đàn bà vô dụng. Từng lời nói chữ dắt dao cứ sâu vào trái tim tự Tiên. Đôi mắt cô đỏ hoe, bàn tay nắm chặt bảo và áo cũ. Cô kìm nén để không bật khóc trước mặt những kẻ chẳng chút thương xót cô. Chiến, người từng đỏ tay gối với cô, người từng hứa hẹn bao điều, giờ đây lại lạnh lùng đứng nhìn không một chút do dự. Cô đã không còn gì trong ánh mắt anh ta. Nỗi đau không còn dừng lại ở những lời miệt thị khi mẹ chồng lớn tiếng đuổi cô ra khỏi nhà. Tự Tiên gần như quỵ xuống. Cô không biết mình đã làm gì sai ngoài việc sinh ra trong một số phận bất hạnh. Ngày cô về nhà chồng, cô cũng từng e thẹn bước qua bậc cửa này mang theo bao ước mơ về một mái ấm. Nhưng hôm nay cũng chính bậc cửa đó cô phải rời đi trong tủi nhục, trong sự lạnh lùng của người chồng. Trong ánh mắt khinh bỉ của cả gia đình chồng, cô muốn phản kháng, muốn hỏi Chiến rằng anh ta còn chút tình nghĩa nào dành cho cô không. Nhưng rồi cô nhận ra điều đó chẳng cô quan trọng.